Hello and welcome to another wonderful micro talk in the GGP Discords. I am here today with Alistair, who just hit past 100K followers now on Twitch. I feel like every time I look at the number, it just grows and grows. Uh,
Yeah.
so tell us. I guess the first question is, I mean, what was that like to hit a 100K followers?
Um, I mean, it was insane because I've been streaming for close to a year now, and for the longest time, I was getting I had like 30 average viewers and stuff like that. And over like the past like month and a half, everything's just exploded to me for me. Like I went from I'd had like 10,000 followers over like the previous 9 months, and then like 8 months, and then in the last like month and a half, I've gained the other 90,000. So it's been absolutely insane. The growth is ridiculous.
So I think it's really interesting that as a streamer, like you started out very small and you've been doing this a year. This isn't something that just
Yeah.
all of the sudden like came out of nowhere or you decided just a couple of months ago. You just start and all of a sudden you magically get like this 100K viewer. Do you know? Do you have any sort of sense of like where sort of like the spike or how did people actually find you? This.
Yeah. It, like a lot of it is down to luck, but it's also like persistence and stuff. So I was very fortunate to um a friend of mine invited me to a Minecraft tournament called the Minecraft Championships, and I played in that every time it happens every month. And in one event, I happened to be teamed up with a Minecraft YouTuber called Dream, who's currently one of the most popular people online at the moment. He's gaining like a million subscribers every 2 weeks. Um, and that exposure, I gained a friendship with Dream and joined his exclusive like Minecraft server. There's like 14 of us total, and I've just garnered a following on there, which is yeah, it's blown my mind. I don't have words to describe it.
Uh, I mean, I think it does come with persistence.
Yeah,
You are very casual, but also very friendly while you're on stream. You're very active. Like you're very comfortable being
yeah.
in front of the camera as well as playing the game. So let's like take a step back. Like, how has your like once you started streaming to where you are now, like how has that sort of evolved? Like, what has your equipment been like, as well as what are some of the things that have you've done to like sort of change the way that you've approached streaming?
Well, I mean, in terms of equipment, I never really used expensive stuff. Like the keyboard I used, I bought from the USC surplus store for $2, and I used that for 3 years. And it's never let me down. It's been absolutely fine. Like my mouse, I bought for like $15. My webcam I bought for $15. My monitors are like $80 each. Um, my microphone's probably the most expensive thing, and that's like $100. But I've had it for like 8 years, so you don't need expensive stuff to get into content creation. You just need to be you. You need to be genuine. You need to be engaging.
How
Um,
how let me actually I really want to dive into that. How do you find you in streaming? Like what is the point in which you're can be comfortable that you can sort of like be in your skin while you're practically doing two things at once, which is having this conversation with a lot of people with hundreds of people on your streams now,
yeah,
as well as playing through a game that also requires a certain amount of attention.
I mean, like it's like a lot of practice in a way. So when I was as I mentioned in the first few months, I was averaging around like 30 viewers for the longest time. For months, I didn't like have more or less than that. And it's just sort of just it's learning to multitask the chatting and the playing at the same time. Um, and then it gets just more and more wild. I feel bad for missing messages, and then at one point I'm now missing most of the messages. But occasionally, when I see one, people freak out. Like if I read their message, it's
Okay, like
you scale.
so what do you see as something that is like, obviously now you have hundreds of people, but like you started out with 30.
Yeah,
For a lot of people right now, they're starting out with 30, maybe they're even working up to 30.
yeah. I
So
mean,
like,
so, like in my first couple of months, I was only around like between like 3 and like maybe 15, and then I got up to like 20, 30, and I was stuck with that for like 5 months.
how do you engage with an audience of just like 3 or 15 or 20 or even 30 people, like you have,
Um,
like how do you make it worthwhile?
it's a lot about like narrating what you do. Also, like playing with friends helps a lot because when there's a lot of like dead air, if you're just chatting with friends, that helps a ton. Um, but also just like talking about things that happen in your day or funny anecdotes or trying to start conversations with the people in your chat, like asking them what happened with that with their lives and um, generating content in that way.
Is
Uh,
there like a go-to subject that you think about, or like do you like plan a couple of like backup topics in case like something starts to die off or
Not
there's
really.
not
No,
enough chatter?
it's a natural thing. It's like you're having a conversation with a friend in a way. Like I'll mention something and go, "Oh yeah, actually that reminds you of this funny thing that happened," and then someone in the chat might make a comment on that, and then it just the conversation develops, and that's it. It's I really love doing that with a small chat, and that's something which I feel I've kind of lost by with now having several thousand viewers. Um, but yeah, it's something I enjoyed a lot about being smaller, is you could have like genuine connection with your viewers.
How are you trying to find that connection now with the larger audience that you have? Like you mentioned like trying like feeling bad about not being able to read all the things
Yeah.
or trying to connect with them. Like it seems like a lot. It seems like a now even more work to like find those nuggets or to have those like honest connections. Like what are you doing now to have a connection with your audience?
I've got a Discord server which I talk in quite often, but that now has like 10,000 members, so that's a bit flooded. I try to respond to a lot of like Twitter and Instagram DMs, but those are flooded as well. It's getting harder and harder. Um, and I think the disconnection in a way is good because it's stopped like there's been a lot of issues with fans like trying to become friends or like assuming that because I respond to their DM that I'm now their friend and then them getting upset um, over this sort of thing. Um,
So what are some of the things that you like to do when you are in Discord or on like how do you sort of like maintain that community because you're still dealing with like 1,000 people or at least hundreds of people, and that is just that's a ton of people. I can hardly deal with a party with like a good dozen people that I happen to know. You're dealing with thousands of people that you barely, if
yeah,
not know at all.
that like even yesterday in the Discord server, I wasn't even talking there at the time, but there were like 50 people in a voice chat all together, just sort of chatting. Um, and then I put a message in the text chat that's for that voice chat, and everyone exploded. It's really weird because it's all happened to me so quickly. Um, I don't think it's properly hit me yet, like how many people it is. I think like one of the things that's hitting me is I opened a PO box so people can send me stuff,
Mhm.
and I've gotten some like really heartfelt letters and some like gifts and stuff. It's like, oh wow, these are actual people. Um, because
So
if you,
yeah,
yeah,
go for it. Go for it. Sorry.
because I was like, if you see on Twitch, you see the number like what 6,000 people or something. You go, that's a big number, but then it's hard to visualize like a room with 6,000 people in it, all just watching me playing Minecraft or other games with friends.
One of
It's crazy.
one of the things that I find like really amazing about you and your community is that you happen to have a lot of people who come out
Yeah,
on your stream. You have like you even have a counter for all the people who come out. Can you talk a little bit about like what that is, how it started, and why do you think people do that? Feel comfortable on your stream doing that?
sure. So the reason that I have the coming out counter on my stream, and it like a lot of people see that, and it helps create like the understanding that they're not alone. There are other people out there like them who feel the same way like them, and especially in the times we are now, where everyone is isolated in their own home, people don't get exposure to LGBT sort of sources. Um, whole counter sort of started because so one person had come out to my stream a while like ages ago, and one of my friends made the comment saying, "Damn, I wish I had like bisexual emotes on my Twitch." And I asked, "Hey, are you bi?" And then she said, "Actually, yeah, this is like the first place I'm saying, but I am bi." And then like a few other people said, "Hey, I've never said this anywhere else, but I'm gay, I'm lesbian, I'm bi, I'm asexual." And I was like, "Oh damn, that's quite a lot of you. You're going to need to start keeping track of this." So I started keeping it down on a post-it note, and then eventually more people kept on coming out, and more people kept on coming out. So I was like, "Okay, this post-it note is full. I have the post-it note in my wallet. I carry it with me everywhere." Um, but now like 1,000, no, over 2,000 people have come out to my streams now.
That is that. First of all, it's remarkable. I think it shows that your community feels comfortable about being there. That it feels like it is a safe place, and the
Exactly.
fact that you carry around with you basically like the feelings like you are carrying around with you like these precious moments
Yeah.
wherever you go is like this is astounding. Like this is like really like shows the power of community, shows the power of what people can do when you bring the right group of people together
Yeah.
and can find that. Like how do people find you? How do they locate you? Like what kind of do you throw up like a bat signal? Is there like is there like some sort of like network people can go through? Like how do people usually find you in order to find this sort of community?
I mean, quite often recently I've been the largest LGBT streamer on Twitch. Like if you check the LGBT category or the LGBT tag on Twitch, I'm very often at the top of that. Um, so if people are specifically looking for LGBT streamers, when I'm live, I'm the top of that list, which blows my mind to even think about. Um, because like yeah, I can't think of the words to describe that. Like me like saying that it doesn't quite feel real. I went from small to one of the largest streamers on Twitch in a month and a bit. Um,
I mean, let's go into that because
yeah.
you have grown drastically in a very short amount of time. What are some of the lessons that you've learned with that growth?
Um, with me, I've definitely learned to be more outgoing. Um, I before I started streaming, I was quite introverted in a way. I didn't really talk to people that much, or have like many like social skills, or like try to get to know people. But when I've started streaming more, I've like gotten to know people and am more willing to just sort of go out and like if I see someone, I'm like, oh, that person's cool. I should go say hi to them. Before I would have just gone, that person's cool, and then stuck to myself. That's been one of the biggest things for me because um, I know in the past I may have missed out on opportunities by not like reaching out to people who I could have at the at the time. But now I know, you know, if you see an opportunity, go for it. Reach out. What's the worst that can happen?
Did you pick up those skills while you were streaming, or is this something you had to do sort of outside your streams in order to become a better streamer?
It was while like sort of while I was streaming. Like there was another like Minecraft multiplayer like project which had a bunch of big creators and I was in like at the very start of my streaming. It was called SMP Earth. There were a lot of very big creators on there. But I didn't interact with any of them. I kept to myself a lot and I didn't benefit a huge amount. Um, then go forwards to this Minecraft Championships thing I mentioned, and I am interacting with a lot of very big people again. But instead of keeping to myself, I'm much more outgoing and I'm like interacting and making jokes and stuff. And it's like it catapulted me forward in a way. Um,
What
yeah.
what are some of the tips that you can share about going from introvert to more outgoing? Let's not get into completely extrovert territory,
Yeah,
but
I'm,
just
I'm
more
definitely
out.
not an extrovert.
Right, right.
I still prefer to spend time like on my own. That's like when I'm happiest. And my housemate is a huge extrovert. He doesn't quite understand that, but that's a different thing. Um, yeah, it's cool.
Like for you, like to make these steps, like did you like make it so that you try to talk to everyone that would be coming into chat? Would you was it just having to fill in that void like you were talking about to make sure that there was always something to fill in the dead air? Like what do you sort of like helped you to come out of your shell?
Um, I think a big part of it is stemmed from me just being a very genuine person. Um, and it helped build a very genuine community around me. Um, and I could just talk to these people and they could talk to me all day. Like I once did a 17-hour stream by accident just because I was enjoying like streaming too much. Um, like I have music on in the background. I've got a playlist that's 18 hours long, which is just chill music, and that's just very easy just to have on the background. I don't like all of this like comes together to me not having to really exert myself that much, which is perfect. A lot of streamers they have to put on a character where they're just full of energy and like really active all the time, and I'm very lucky that I don't. I can just be me. Um, yeah, it's I feel very lucky.
Uh, with that, I think we're going to go into a couple of questions that I've already gotten from chat. If anyone else happens to have any questions or want to be a part of any future GGP micro talks, you can always come to the Discord and put your questions into the micro talks events, and we will start asking them. Like this first question: do you have any advice for people breaking into streaming?
Um, yeah, my biggest advice would be to stream with friends. That is key, especially when you're starting off. You won't have a chat to interact with. Um, Stream with music as well, not copyrighted stuff, ideally. Um, but that helps you fill dead air as well. So if you're not talking, at least people have something to listen to. Your streaming friends are very important because your friends, if they stream as well, that helps. Because then you can build like a community around you and like maybe two other friends or something. Um, and if one of your friends blows up, they're going to carry you up, and if you blow up, you carry your friends up. It helps everyone in that. Also, just be genuine, um, and play games you actually enjoy playing, not just games which are trendy. Though that does help. Um, be yourself in a way. That's what's worked for me. It doesn't work for everyone, but that's what's worked for me.
The next question is: are there any other streamers that you draw inspiration from, or people you love to watch?
Um, Generally, I only watch my friends on Twitch. Um, there's a few streamers who, hmm, it's an interesting question because I just try to be myself and just do my own thing in a way.
Like,
Um,
let's broaden this out even more.
yeah.
Like, what do you like to watch? Like, not even streamers, but like YouTubers or other content creators out there. Like, you're like, who do you like to watch when you're just chilling out or just kicking around or doing whatever you want to be doing?
Oh, yeah, there's a streamer and YouTuber called RT Game, letter R, letter T Game. Um, he's an Irish YouTuber and streamer, and I don't know, he just plays like whatever he feels like playing, but he's just got such like positive and enthusiastic personality that he's like his audience follows him anywhere, whatever he does. Um, but he's someone I look up to a lot. He says that he's a streamer first, YouTuber second, even though his YouTube account I'm pretty sure is much bigger than his Twitch, and that's sort of like what I look up to with that. Um, because because my YouTube is much smaller than my Twitch, and I hope to sort of go along a similar path with that.
Let's go along with that. Like, obviously, you've hit a huge milestone. You have a huge audience now. Like, what do you see 6 months, a year from now? Like, how do you look to continue this, or like what do you want to be doing?
Um, the whole thing, my whole like, what drives me with Twitch is that I'm able to help people. Um, Not just like with the coming out counter, giving people the confidence to come out and be themselves, but I've also raised like $30,000 for my friend to help pay off his medical costs. 31,000 now. I've set up a Twitch team called USC Live, which is to help grow the Twitch channels of several people from my several other streamers from my university. Um, we've already had we've had like one person from that team be able to reach partner requirements. We've helped like 10 people hit affiliate requirements. If not more, I lose track. um, but yeah, it's awesome to be able to just help people, and I want to find ways to help more people. And going through like the LGBT community, I think it's a great way because I feel like LGBT doesn't have enough representation online as it needs to, especially in the gaming space. I've had a lot of people message me on Twitter and Instagram saying there's not many LGBT streamers. Thank you for creating a safe place where I can be myself, and it like touches me a lot when people send those messages. It's awesome to see.
That's fantastic. I look forward to the community as well as the other streamers, the global network that you are already starting to work on Twitch and on YouTube. before we wrap things up, how can people uh, watch watch you or follow you online?
On Twitch, I'm the Eret, Theret, and on Twitter, I'm the underscore Eret. Um, yeah, that's me.
Excellent. Thank you so much for your time. It was
Thank you.
great talking to you about your streams, and I look forward to your next 100,000 followers.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And for more micro talks, please join us at Gay Gaming Professionals on Discord, or you can look for the Gay Gaming Professionals YouTube to see more of these. And until then, I'll talk to you later.